Hey guys, today we are going to be doing another princess. This is the one that fought for China. So I'm going to be using my Candy Cover Sheer White, Candy Cover Cotton Candy, which is a pink. This is my new one from Lee Nails. It's a teal color. My Black Mamba, as always, from the Glam Trap House. Red Apple from SM Nail Candy, one of my favorites of all time. And Send Nudes from the Glam Trap House. Now I'm going to start off with a little color blocking for her kimono. I'm doing the neck part right here, and with all the color blocking you want to try to get the shape as much as you can with the brush, and then go back in with your file or your razor or whatever to get the nice sharp shape. Now this is more of a sheer white, but if you build it up, it gives it a nice soft white appearance.
Stood by your side through all of the lies, watching you cry for me. Get on your knees, apologize please. Now why don't you die for me? Call me the king, really rough things. Give me that diamond ring. Get on your knees, apologize please. Now why don't you die for me? I can go, but you keep medication. Late at night, I can deal with everything. Every night, it can make me let go. And if it goes, that's a good thing.
Now I'm going to go ahead on the middle finger, and I'm laying down red here to go underneath my dragon scales, because my dragon scales are pretty opaque, but they still had a little translucency, so I really want the red to pop, so I laid my red down underneath, which worked out because the scales came out wonderfully. Now I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead. I'm going to start the pinky. I'm doing a pink to kind of a teal ombre to match the kimono. And then I have some geisha decals that I'm going to lay down on here later.
Duck, goose, found a pussy in a dollar bin. Guess you forgot your galana bin. Can't get it loose, get your guts, got your tongue again. Rope burn on your hand, are you numb yet? I can go, but you keep medication. Late at night, I can deal with everything. Every night, it can make me let go. And if it goes, that's a good thing.
Now I'm going to go ahead and file my V-cut over here for the neck of the kimono, just to get that nice crisp shape. Give me my good lines before I add the next color, which is that cotton candy pink from SM Nail Candy. It's a really nice soft cover pink, which I love. And you want to make sure that you're pushing it up as far as you can against the line, and you're going to have some height on this, which is just one of the drawbacks of color blocking. You just file it down to get the shape you want. Just make sure you're pushing it all the way up to meet it and covering it all the way around, and then go ahead and lay the rest of the nail. And you'll see me go back and forth a lot because as I let each layer dry on my color blocking, I try to get something else done so I'm not just standing here waiting for it to dry. So I'm going to go ahead to the ring finger. And on this one, I'm doing kind of a profile again. So I'm going to use the black mamba for her hair. Giving it kind of a really sharp cut down the middle of the nail.
Duck, duck, goose found a pussy in a dollar bin. Guess you forgot your galana bin. Can't get it loose, get your guts, got your tongue again. Rope burn on your hand, are you numb yet? I can go, but you get medication. Late at night, I can deal with it. Every night, you can make it let go. And if it goes, that's what goes. Stood by your side through all of the lies, watching you cry for me. Get on your knees, apologize please. No, why don't you die for me? Call me the king, ruler of things. Give me that diamond ring. Get on your knees, apologize please. No, why don't you die for me? I can go, but you get medication. Late at night.
Now that I got my basic hair shape, I'm going to go ahead and file that pink, get that nice crisp line, and then I'm going to bring some teal up to meet it to go with the colors on the pinky because these are the colors that I want for it. So you just want to make sure it's nice and level and that you have a nice wall going at the end there. Right now I'm going to take my X-Acto knife and cut this hair out. Like this cut was really hard to drill because of the deep V shape. So I want to get as much as I can done with my knife. Well, you know, to save myself some trouble later to get that V in there. You want to do that while it's still not wet, but before it's all the way dry. You can cut it when it's dry, but it's not really safe and it's really hard. So I suggest doing it while it's still just a little bit soft. Now I'm going to go ahead and take my needle bit here. It's a really sharp, obviously needle-shaped bit, and go ahead and file the inside of that V and get that as clean as I can before I add my nude color.
Stood by your side through all of the lies, watching you cry for me. Get on your knees, apologize please. No, why don't you die for me? Call me the king, ruler of things. Give me that diamond ring. Get on your knees, apologize
Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and add my nude, and you want to make sure you push that all the way into that V-cut. Otherwise you're going to have a little hole there when you file it down. Even though it looks like it's on top, you want to make sure you push your brush all the way down into there. Otherwise you end up with a hole when you file it, like I did. But, you know, just do your best. Alright, so I tried something a little different here. I decided to encapsulate the decals for the scales since I was going to do it over the whole thing. I didn't want it to have a lot of wrinkles, you know. So what I did was take some of the Beetle's gem glue and lay it down and then cured it through the decal to kind of help it stick, because it's really hard to encapsulate it if it's not stuck down. But this was translucent enough that I could kind of cure it. And then I just trimmed it around the edges. And then I encapsulated it after I added the whiskers. And this seemed to work out really well. Like, I'm going to encapsulate all my decals from now on because it just came out so much cleaner and smoother, and I loved it.
Duck, duck, goose found a pussy in a dollar bin. Guess you forgot your galana bin. Can't get it loose, get the cats, got your tongue again. Rope burn on your hand, are you numb yet?
Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and take my drill and file down and get a nice level surface on the kimono. And do all of my shaping, filing, and whatnot before I cap. I like to shape my sides and stuff before I cap so that I don't want to put clear over the sides if I'm just going to file them down if my shape isn't right. So, you know.
Stood by your side through all of the lies, watching you cry for me. Get on your knees, apologize please. No, why don't you die for me? Call me the king, ruler of things. Give me that diamond ring. Get on your knees, apologize please. No, why don't you die for me? I can go, but you keep medication. Late at night, I can deal with it.
Alright, so my camera blanked out on me here for a little while I added the details, or the decals to the pinky and the shaping tape to the first finger. All I did though was add 2 pieces of shaping tape and a black line around the edge, so no big deal. And I used that Beetle's gem glue to lay my decals down on the pinky before I encapsulated. So now I am using that Beetle's gem glue to add whiskers, which I just use button thread because it's thicker than regular thread, so it won't hang down, it'll kind of stick out. So I just added some gem glue, added 2 little pieces to the edges, and then spot cured it, and then I encapsulated everything.
Duck, duck, goose found a pussy in a dollar bin. Guess you forgot your galana bin. Can't get it loose, get the cats, got your tongue again. Rope burn on your hand, are you numb yet? I can go, but you keep medication. Late at night, I can deal with it. Every night, you can make it illegal. And if it goes, that's what kills you. by your side through all of the lies, watching you cry for me. Get on your knees, apologize please. Now why don't you die for me? Tell me the king, really real things. Give me that diamond ring. Get on your knees, apologize please. Now why don't you die for me? I can go, but it's your medication. Late at night, I can deal with everything. Every night, you can make me illegal. From difficult, that's what drives me. Tripping on you all in gold, love making you lose control. I can feel it in my bones, you're not good for me at all. Got me fucked up, messing with my mind. I bet that you do this all the time. Know about my blood, that's up behind the mask. All I can see is red flags.
And now that I've filed and buffed everything, I'm going to wipe it down with acetone really good to get rid of any little grooves that may have been left behind from filing. And then I'm going to top coat and we will take a look at the finished product. There you go. There's our last princess, or well, not our last princess. This is our next to last princess. I love Mushu's whiskers. I love them so much, and I love how the kimono turned out. So clean. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you guys have any questions, comment down below.